Hey Jianhui, hi Christine.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Long time no see, Christine.
I know we missed you in Singapore.
So you will be in Chicago this November, right?
I will be.
Okay, then I will see you then. And I am. Oh, and by the way, I'm also considering spending my next year of my placement in Northwestern. I will keep you posted. So,
Ooh,
because I have
exciting.
a co-advisor there. So, hi
Oh, that's
Jianhui.
amazing.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I just spoke about some personal update to Christine and.
No worries. Nice to meet you, Christine.
Nice
Nice
to meet
to see
you.
you again, Xiangkun. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
So you
Christine.
are living in Boston,
Yeah, I'm
Xiangkun?
actually right now in Cambridge area right now. Yeah,
Oh, okay, I see. But you still have a house here or not?
I still have a house here. Yeah, I have.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
so my
have several houses?
yeah, I my, I rent several houses.
Oh, anyway,
I don't
your
own them.
salary is high.
Uh,
It's okay.
yeah, I
Yeah,
hope.
compare with us.
Uh,
Compare with me. Compare with me.
no,
Yeah,
that's just a temporary position. Hopefully, we can find permanent position soon. The three of us.
I know, right?
how long is it? You still have 1 year left, I remember. Right?
Yeah, we still have
Yeah, that's
one
that's
year
great. That's great. Yeah, great
till
opportunity.
next September. So before then, we need to find a real job.
Real job. This is a real job. But it's a temporary job. Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. So you two guys will kind of definitely stay in academia, right?
No.
Nope.
No? Oh, okay.
Hell
Good
no.
to know. Me neither. Actually, I'm also looking other opportunities. Yeah.
Good. Don't
Yeah.
let them
Yeah.
suck your soul away.
Yeah, and also congrats to Xiangkun for the green card.
I
You
haven't got
you
that
get.
yet, but the first step is cleared, so it's
Oh,
moving
I see.
closer. Yeah.
It's I-140, right?
Yeah,
Or,
but
or, or,
yeah.
or the final stage. You didn't receive the card yet, right?
No, I 140 is being approved, so right now I need to wait
Oh,
for my
I see.
priority date.
Yeah, now
So
PD is kind
yeah.
of 1 year ago, right? I remember.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm so happy, Christine, you don't need to go through all of this process. It's time consuming. You need to spend money, and eventually
Yeah.
just get a card, and it's not worth the effort. So let's see.
Yeah, it's a lot. And
that's
also,
awful.
yeah, oh my God, it's a little bit ironic. What we are going to write is don't focus on these numbers. But if you want a green card, you have to focus on numbers. The
Yes.
lawyer will tell you, okay, get a good profile, get good numbers. Otherwise, you won't get the green card approved. That's
Oh
very
my
sad,
God.
actually. But if you want to stay here, you have to do that.
Yeah,
That's
let's
very
see.
sad.
Yeah, we have to play by the system. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
complain, but this is
That's
the rule.
very, I want to, somehow, maybe someday in the future, I hope this can be changed. Not just, it's very superficial. They care about citations, number of publications, and oh my God! Every grant officer, they are not expert, but they will decide whether you should immigrant based on academic performance. It's making no
Wow.
sense, actually.
This country's twisted in like a million different ways. And it's
Yeah.
just getting worse. So I think we have some dark places to go before it gets better, frankly.
Let's see. So Christine, are
Yeah.
you still in California right now?
I am. I'm actually going back to Kenya on Thursday
On Thursday.
for the rest of
Thursday.
the month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Is Kenya where you're from?
No, so I run a project out there that I started in
Okay.
my dissertation, and I just got like $100,000 to continue the project. So I have to do some like permit gathering and all this other stuff. But there's also a conference in Rwanda that I'm going to.
Oh, that's
So I'll
that's
just
great.
kind of doing it all at once.
Oh, so by the way, Christine, are you connected to Gladys?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
should definitely you should meet up with her. She's in that area, I think, right now.
Yeah, I think she'll be at the conference. I just actually finally met her in person in Oxford a few months ago at another
Oh,
conference.
I see.
So
The Rhodes conference.
the Human Wildlife Conflict and Coexistence Conference, which is quite a mouthful.
I see. I hope you guys can spend some quality time.
How do you know her?
So we actually wrote a piece together.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
And she was because of that piece. So there's a journalist reach out to me, and I say, you should speak to my course as well. And eventually, the editor decides to feature only her, but aside our article. But anyway, I feel good for her. That's good.
And that's also a different Gladys that I was talking about, and I haven't actually have met that Gladys one time, and I forget where it was. Maybe it was a Schmidt thing.
I think Stanford.
But she's Kenyan, yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So let's get back to the business. So Jianhui, we are here to listen to you
yeah,
and then
sure,
see what's the best plan.
Yeah. Let me briefly introduce the situation now here. Actually, it is a pretty long delay because previously what we planned is quite a unique piece. Actually, not many journals will accept that way. It's pretty short. Usually, what I know is only in very, very top journals, which is hard, I think. Yeah. So I tried different journals, but all of them are pretty top. But they all of them are negative responses. However, recently I received a good response from Matter, which is published by Cell Press. Xiangkun has a lot of experience with that already. Yeah, but they don't publish this kind of a 300 words piece. It is too short for them. Mm-hmm. They have a specific type called matter of opinion, which usually requires, I remember, 1,000 to 1,200, around that kind of length. Mm-hmm. This is a good kind of form for us to present our, I would call it research, also research, right? We can present our, we call it our viewpoint here. So I'm wondering whether we can kind of add more stuff inside to make sure that it's at least the length will fit the requirement, around 1,000 words, and we can add more details inside, add more stuff, and we can add more references, use more evidence, and then follow. Actually, the whole outline we can just follow the synopsis that we have agreed previously. Mm-hmm. So for today, we can discuss the outline and the future.
Thanks, Jianhui. So I just sent a link, and I think the word count is pretty flexible to them. So definitely 300 is too low, but they have an upper limit of 2,000. So I think anything between 1,000 to 2,000 sounds like a perfect match for them.
Yes. So, I remember, is that 2,000? Remember, it's...
I just sent a link here. So probably since they're not very updated, but this is what they say. And from my recent experience, I think the article is around 1,800-ish.
Really? Can they reach 2,000? That's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think they will allow that. But okay, let me.
Yeah, this is I just sent a link in a chat. You can check.
Okay. Yep. Sure.
So I do have some ideas already about where we might be able to add some stuff.
You're right. So, okay. Xiangkun is right. The limit is 2,000. So we don't have to hit that limit, I think.
Yeah.
So, but what I expect is at least 1,000. We need to present more evidence. Considering all this evidence and to present a very clear conclusion, we need at least that length, I think, to support it. I think. Yeah, for your question, so do I have any idea? Actually, I have a pretty rough idea because this is can you see my screen? You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So this is the previous. I just changed the title to manuscript. We will build our manuscript based on this file. I will share it later. Mm-hmm. So basically, for our synopsis, we already have the outline. So the whole why I want to write this, I have this initial thought very, very early, even last year, because I just noticed the H index of this very famous physicist actually has started a very heated debate among us researchers, because it is very unusual compared with many famous guys. He really didn't publish a lot of papers, very limited papers. and with a very low, a relatively very low H index. So which is very interesting, I think, from my point of view, because now I don't know whether you know it or not, especially for this kind of evaluation system in China. Oh my God, it's he may not survive actually, because they really require a lot of publications, and they require you will continue to have output every year. So if you just publish that limited amount of paper, probably he will not even get the tenure, I think. Yeah. So that's why China is just a region, but I have to say that especially nowadays in academia, many people just care about the amount of paper you publish and how your papers are well cited, which I just mentioned, right? Even for the green card application, for the United States, they care about that, which doesn't make much sense to me. So that's my initial shot to contribute to this kind of a paper, because we want to, firstly we want to bring this out to say that this is a very common phenomenon in academia, and secondly present our thoughts, what we think was our attitude towards this kind of phenomenon, and next what should we do next. So are we calling for some kind of change in academia, or do we have any suggestions? So yeah, that's the whole idea why I want to write this paper and invite you two guys to also help with me we can work together to say, if we can help a little bit with this phenomenon and at least call for the attention from the whole academia, then it is good, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
You say something else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something pretty quick, and then Christine can add. So first of all, Jianhui, I think. So I just checked his high index right now. H index is around 31, so a rise by 2. But the still 31 is not that much compared to a lot.
Oh no, I mean we can just still write 29 because we want to see what is the index. At that time he was awarded the Nobel Prize.
Yeah,
we don't need to update this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I remember it is 29.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that first of all, the H index is a field dependent thing. And for some fields, you can have very crazy number because you have a lot of more researchers in that. So I think essentially this piece wants to talk about a point that we should have comprehensive metrics to evaluate the impact of research. So H index is definitely one of them. But in addition, we should have, for example, if some fields they don't publish papers, maybe their contribution of their research can lead to inclusion in a local community's transformation, and also definitely the commercialization can be a good metric. But how we can really build these comparative metrics based on the nature for different fields, that's something that's really important. And definitely there's a publish or perish culture. This has been there for a long time. We should definitely encourage early career researchers and also exemplary researchers to publish their results. But at the same time, we should recognize the importance of non-paper contributions that can reflect their research impact. So this is just, I think, what we can potentially send by this piece. But definitely there's a lot of people who have already commented on this already, how we can really raise something new, bring perspective from the three of us, and potentially learn from literature and how we can really add to the discussion. This is something I think is really critical. So Christine, go ahead.
Yeah, so a few things, and I'm glad you're taking notes because I'm not. So I do think that the conclusion should be a call to action, like you just implied, Elvis, and it kind of is already. And I also think that in that call to action, we should be including the change of institutions, which are the ones that are deciding what counts as appropriate for a tenure package. And so a lot of institutions say that you have to do mentorship, you have to do teaching, you have to do service, but then those things are not actually counted toward your tenure, and so they're not given the same weight as this publish or perish is given. And that's going to be like, if we can have institutions changing, that won't put the burden on early career researchers to figure it out, as they shouldn't, because it'll never work that way. So I think that should be our thing. We could also think creatively, if you really wanted to, about like, okay, there's a lot of things that you can't, H index is used because it's a metric that's very easy to look at, right? Like it's just a number. And the other things are much more difficult to quantify, but maybe there is a way to at least change the metric to include more of those things if you have to have a number. Like, and I'm not saying that I want to propose that, because I think that can take us down some dark avenues. But for those who are like naysayers, who are super ensconced in academia, who might be like, well, we need a number, then we should be including those other elements in that number. There should be a way to actually measure that, that maybe we can have this as a jumping off point toward. The other things I wanted to say is that I can see a couple of spots in our piece where we could definitely include more information, since we're going to be adding more evidence anyway. So for the chasing after quantity section, I think that we should cite some of those people that have come to light recently that are these big names that have secretly been falsifying data, and kind of cite some of those news stories about how that's harmed a lot of people and harmed also the science in those realms. And it's probably come from this publish or perish mindset. And I come from a very different academic background than you two. So I'm sure there are other examples of like large labs that like the mentorship is all fucked up and people get railroaded all the time because this professor wants to have like 100 people in their lab. And what does that really do to budding scientists, right? Of course, that's also driven by publish or perish. So that could all kind of go in the quantity section. And then for the excessive pursuit of quantity harms science. I think that we can, after that first sentence in that section, we can include some examples about what quality of science is. Like, I think we all know what that is, and we've been alluding to it, but we can say like, here are examples of quality of science, here are examples of things that we say we value as a society, but they're not valued. And even including what you just said about the green cards, we're doing our foreign scholars a disservice by measuring them in this way when they could be contributing in other ways that are a lot richer, and make them, arguably like better citizens, if that's what the government's looking for, right? Than this number does. And so I think that could also be included in this group, and it could be a really nice, or in this section, it could be a really nice, maybe personal element from these authors, right, to include here. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you. Let me make some notes.
Sorry, that was a lot.
Yeah, I think this is really great. And at this point, I think we also need to think about potential ideas for illustrations, because one good figure tells all the story, because people are lazy, they don't want to read.
Yeah.
So
at least we need to have one figure. I agree.
Yeah, we don't need to decide now, but we should also just
we can brainstorm a little bit, since we still have a little bit of time.
Yeah, maybe like a figure that is like our idealized version of what a better way of measuring a scholar would be. Just something along those lines that's like more on the optimistic end than on like the pessimistic end, which everybody already knows about.
So that will be like a schematic.
So I could think about, for a researcher, there's, so first step is recruitment, and then there's promotion, and there's some other aspects. How we really, just think about how a researcher grows from early career to established researcher, what is the step along the way? What do you do for recruitment? How do you define the metrics to recruit people? And and then once the person is being recruited, how is the person research being evaluated? So there's a recruitment, there's evaluation, there's promotion, and along the way we can probably have some keywords this is just some general idea to think about how a researcher progresses in his or her or their career.
I really like that because I think that leaves a lot of room for us to call on institutions to be the ones to make the change rather than looking at the earlier parts of that. Yeah, like rather than being like early career researchers, you should think about this. It's actually like they're thinking about all the right things. It's just they're not being evaluated properly. And like even if you're an early career researcher that wants to do all of the non-H-index related things, you're pressured and pressured and pressured, and you get like broken. Some people get broken,
If you don't do that, you cannot survive. So we need to cause change for the whole system.
Exactly. The other thing I was thinking, sorry, before I forget, which you alluded to, is in the introduction, between the sentences that end in Google Scholar profile and these facts, and then start with these facts, maybe there can be a sentence about like how this person's H-index compares to other Nobel Prize physics winners. I just like others? very clearly saying like that seemed a little low, or as like it's implied, but doesn't say it very clearly. If you're reading this and you are an early career researcher, maybe you don't actually know that that's low.
Oh yeah, I agree. But
or if you're from a different field,
how will we compare John with other researchers? Do you think it need to be a well-established researcher, right?
Or maybe other Nobel Prize winners in physics?
Yeah, so that's comparable at least.
Decades.
Because he's in physics, right? He's in physics, so
he's in physics. Not 100% necessary, just a suggestion, but something that like more explicitly calls out like what it is that was being discussed after people saw that.
Okay.
Like
I think
why that
we
was
may
so
not know
surprising.
the H-index at the time of award, right? I don't know whether we can get that information because it is a variable.
That's true. But I think this would be super interesting to first of all. How do other Nobel in physics, especially recent years, what is their high index, and also what is the let's say Nobel Prize in chemistry? I guess their numbers should be pretty different. So by just listing a few examples without giving too much explanation, we can already say H index is not a very good metric.
Shall we do a table?
We could. I mean, like even like one of the guys that maybe won at the same time, like had a much higher H-index. I don't know. We could try a table. We could see if this is a silly idea later, but
this is just
it's just an idea.
Compare some of them.
Yeah, I'm not wedded to it.
But actually, for the physics field, many of them they don't have a pretty high H-index. Usually, they don't publish a lot. For that, I mean, especially theoretical physics.
Right. I can imagine why.
And also, even for mathematics, how little mathematical people publish. Only a few.
Right. Okay, so like even Anton Zeilinger, who also won last year, has an H-index right now of 143.
Oh, 143 is a good number.
Okay.
Or is it? Or is he a complete dick? I don't know. I see high H indices and I actually get suspicious about people's character.
And by the way, I just came across this article talking about the recent discrimination about from a Nobel laureate in a recent Linda Nobel meeting, which Jianhui just attended. So, should we find somewhere to include diversity, equity, inclusion, as especially a researcher's contribution to this, because this is also part of the service related stuff that we can use to evaluate a researcher the impact in addition to just papers when you think about promotion and other
I think
stuff.
that could go in the pressure section too for a number of different reasons, one of them being that people from systemically marginalized backgrounds face a lot more pressures than other folks do. And I mean, including immigration status and everything, right? Face a lot more pressures that are compounding. And then when you have people in these high up positions, like this guy here, at the meeting who are sort of naysaying things like, boosting up those groups of people and whatever, and that like exacerbates it. And that's the message that's being sent. I think it could go either in rampant pressure and maybe a little touching on it in the next section as well, as far as like mentorship and that kind of thing goes. Also, if you can hear me chew these plums, just tell me to go on silent.
Also, on a side note, when we say we want to call for actions for changes from institutions, I think it's not only institutions but also the different entities that are related in supporting researcher. Let's say a funding agency. How do they support? What is the metric they are using to give the awards to different researchers? Are they just solely based on past paper achievements? Because if you don't have any papers to support what you want to say you want to do, they wouldn't be giving you the money. But some research by nature is just too broad. Just you wouldn't be able to use any of the prior publications to prove that. So I'm just trying to say, for when we say call for changes, we can think about the different entities involved in this, not only just universities or institutions, but other in general as well.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
Different levels, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's been a kind of an interesting shift. I don't know about in like the big institutions like NIH and so on. But like at least NSF is like thinking about broader impacts and that kind of thing relatively thoughtfully, depending on who your reviewer is. I mean, it's a fucking crapshoot, but like Nat Geo, smaller funder but pretty prolific in some fields, including mine, has completely changed their grants now to be like, you have to have someone who's involved in local community. You can apply for things like childcare support. You can, like these things that are like, oh, we're remembering about the back end of like the whole person so that they can get the work done in a way that's ethical and more efficient. And so like including something in here about like the quality of the work is also going to be dependent on like how that person is doing and their whole self, right? I'm saying that really poorly, but at least a sentence or two should probably be devoted to like how institutions should invest in that to improve the quality of the work.
Okay. Yeah, so do you guys have any idea on the current outline? Do we need to change the outline as well? I think, let me go walk you guys through a little bit through this one. So for the introduction part, we will mention about the recent phenomenon. The famous physics guy John, he's a Nobel Prize winning scientist, but with a pretty low H index. So this is the reason why we find this phenomenon kind of unexpected and interesting, why we want to write this paper. And following that, we will introduce the phenomenon kind of in academia that more and more researchers are just chasing after quantity. We will list a few examples of data to support this, that too many people focus on the quantity. And following that, we will talk about the reason why. Probably I think this should be the reason why more and more people get focused on this kind of quantity. Of course, the evaluation criteria in academia definitely force us to do that. If you don't publish, you will perish. And besides that, as we mentioned before, I mentioned here, I cited a little bit papers, because now the overall environment in academia is getting more competitive and the resources are getting more limited. So, but still the evaluation criteria is still basically still a publish or perish nature. So we have to fight even harder to get limited resources and positions. So I think in the second chapter, we will talk about the reason. And the following that, we will talk about what's the effect of this kind of excessive pursuit of quantity. so definitely will harm the science. We will provide more evidence in this section to show that this is bad, and we need to call for some change. So following that, shall we add a kind of a section to show what kind of changes need to be made from different levels, individuals, institutions, or funding agencies, or something else? But following that, definitely a conclusion.
Yeah, I think before conclusion, we definitely need to have a section talking about, we say this doesn't work, so what do we propose? And we can talk about at different stages for a researcher what what kind of metrics we need in order to recruit, in order to evaluate, in order to promote, and how do we consider a combination of research, teaching, service when you decide these different decisions along a researcher's pathway, and also talk about the differences in different disciplines. Some fields, from what I heard, the National Science Foundation, introducing a new metric to evaluate the non-paper output, but we will also talk about, for example, sustainability field, and how a person's research is being included in a energy transition roadmap, and also what is the impact on local communities, and what is the commercialization impact from a person's research, and what is the benefit it brings to the community and also to the general public. So this would be essentially, I would think this would be something that is the most important part for our piece, because we talk about the introduction, the chasing about quantity, all of this previous conversations. People all know about that, but we want to focus on what kind of new conversation we can bring to the table. This is what I'm thinking.
Sort of in the second last section, we would like to provide some solutions to this kind of phenomenon, right? To this kind of
Yeah, I agree. That should be like the most robust section of the paper, maybe like even like a third of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can have, because this is just one opinion piece. We don't need many illustrations. If we have to choose one, I think that one illustration will be to, based on this section, to summarize what we propose, and then that should be sufficient.
Yeah, and like showing, like we were saying, like whose responsibility it is, right? Like where the responsibility ultimately lies for each of those changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, great. So I think we still just need one illustration, right? We can summarize.
Yeah, I think one is sufficient.
One should be enough.
Yeah, one should be sufficient. We can probably have, I don't know how it's going to look like, but it's going to be something like arrow, and also some, just to make it look nicer and tell us the message. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to look like eventually, but if it covers.
For this one, probably we won't have kind of a hierarchical structure, right? I think will we? Maybe not. If it is different kind of we focus on the solutions provided for this phenomenon, and we will. This is more like a list or different or something look nicer, but still a list. Okay.
Yeah, some sort of flowchart. I feel like I need to think about it a little bit harder, but it might even be useful to include a timeline in there. It might be redundant though. But I'm thinking, if we're just thinking about tenure track people, right? Or maybe like postdoc to tenure track. Like who are the institutions and the individuals and the roles that should be making changes that will benefit those early career tracks over the long term. But that might end up just being a lot of the same thing over and over again. So I haven't thought about it, and it might not make sense to have a timeline. But it's just a thought.
Yeah, we can brainstorm.
Yeah, we can keep thinking about this, but that should be our key message. Yeah. So what is the next steps, and how do we split the work? How do we coordinate the three of us? Do you have any suggestions?
Good question. So I think first of all, we need to agree on the outline first. So how many sections we have, and in which section, at least the subtitle, right? Which kind of a topic what's the material we're gonna cover in each individual sections. And with that, I think my thoughts are probably so we can pick the one we are comfortable with. I think we decide on the outline first, and then after that we can each one pick section that you're comfortable with. It can be the one you contributed the most previously, or the one you feel like, oh, I have more evidence in hand, or I feel more comfortable. I'm more confident to write about it because I have previous experience. I have more deeper personal understandings about different sections, and then we can start to write a little bit, and probably after I don't know, maybe weeks, we can have another meeting to discuss the next plan. I think for the figure, the illustration is not very urgent. We can think about that, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think having an outline with the bullet points of what we want to cover in each section, and then we can probably just use. I actually tried, to use ChatGPT to write for me, and later I do the similarity check, and because every bullet point is coming from me, so surprisingly, there is it is very, very low. It's 2% for the whole manuscript. I feel ChatGPT is really amazing.
Even if you ask the same questions for ChatGPT, they won't answer the same actually. Even you type them twice, it may not be the same.
But anyway, okay, I think
I don't know whether that's good for
I think with this one, let's just write the bullet points for each section, and then we can decide who is gonna take lead on which section, and then we can move forward. And one person needs to be the lead for figure, and the other two will be contributing. But we can think about this along the way. But I think right now we have a good start. So the timeline wise, what do you think will be a reasonable timeline that we want to submit the final piece? It is going to be a couple of weeks or a couple of months. What do you think from your end?
Actually, from editorial office, they didn't mention. From my end, I don't know how your guys' availability. For me, I think if we just target say 1,000 words and we have three people.
Okay.
I would say several weeks. I would say several weeks. We can definitely do it. I think.
So how about we just set initial target of, let's say, within July, possibly, let's try to get at least the first draft of the manuscript done, and also some draft for the figure. So by the end of this month, we should have that, and then we can do some polish. Probably the early, first 1 week or 2 weeks of August, we can send it out. Because I do know. That's definitely not a lot of words. Even 2,000 split by 3, that's 600-ish. So.
I agree. We can target this month, I think. At least we can target the first full manuscript this month. I think that's a reasonable one. Right. I don't know whether Christine will be super busy. How long will be stay in Kenya?
I'm going to be busy as fuck, but this is really a low-hanging fruit. My only thing is I probably will not be able to meet because I'm going to be 10 hours ahead of the US and extremely busy, and probably won't have internet a lot. But I will have enough. It
you won't
depends.
always have the internet.
I will probably have the internet in the final week of July because I'll be in the capital of Rwanda. But usually I'm like in a tent in the dusty bush.
Okay,
I really envy you. I wanted to be there as well.
Come join. We'll get the thing done in just one day in my tent. But yeah, I was gonna say I like the outline structure plus the addition before the conclusion, that section.
Yeah, thank you.
And I am happy to do either the chasing after quantity section or the excessive pursuit harm science section, as well as maybe we can all like put in some bullet points into that second to last section, just start plopping in our ideas and then see what coalesces. So and that'll help us to think about the
just a quick question. Do we have, let's say, this can we all edit at the same time to this Word document? Okay, so you already shared that,
yes,
right?
Yes. You remember that what I sent. I want to show you guys actually how we can edit at the same time using the that kind of
I know how to use that, but Christine, you know, if
is this the most recent link that you sent in the Matter email?
Yes, but I would like to show you guys again how we can edit it very fluent, very smoothly together with that one.
Let me open that as well. I think I should be able to do that as well. So just give me one sec. If you can you put a link here?
I sent it before.
Oh, okay. I think
I can just open it. You can.
I'm already.
Let me share my screen. Yes. Yeah. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, actually, I'm using the OneDrive for business. It is so it is a full version. We can do we can enjoy all the functions. At least from me, I don't know whether you guys can edit or not.
Let me try. I'm already on that document right now. So
yeah, you can. You want to share?
So
yeah.
No, let me.
I'm on the document too.
You can share. Yeah.
I'm trying to let me just open that. I just tried open and I remember I can just use my Word to do.
Yeah, because some people may just get stuck with the web version. Web version is not very good actually.
Yeah,
you cannot do it very well. I suggest a desktop version. Yeah, I can show it.
This is what I'm doing. I'm trying to log in first. Okay, but okay, it's not being shared to my MIT email address. Looks like.
I set it to available to
all.
Did you log in with
MIT? I don't
email?
have to log in to edit it. It should be available to
right?
Everybody. I don't have to.
I set that way. I set it as that way. You can edit.
Okay, so let me try to. Oh, did you see my edits? I just put 4 letters.
You didn't share your screen.
Oh, okay. I can.
I see your letters.
Oh, okay.
So can we enable the participant screen sharing? Because I couldn't share. You have to give me permission.
I didn't host meetings that often. Hold on a second. Yeah. Now you can share.
Okay. So I just opened this and. I remember I can just use to edit this offline, but either works for me. I can just stick with this to edit, so it definitely works for me.
Actually, I have a hold on a sec. I have a better way. I think.
I used to just put this, but it looks like it's not working. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're still using the web version, right? I have a probably better way to share. Hold on a sec. Let me share my screen. So you can see my screen, right? So this is a file I share. So everything in this file will be shared because I share the whole file, the whole folder. Yep. So for example, if I just open this one, right? Sequence way is to more like this. You click it and you can edit it in the web, right? Say. Yeah, you add something and everyone will see the change, right? Will see the changes. Actually, there are another way. Say what? Access denied?
Yeah,
Hold
so
on a
I try to use the other way
second. Oh,
because I have done
I
that
need
in
to
the
sign
past.
it.
But I think it's
Huh.
as long as we
Oh,
can
wait.
add something to this, that's fine. We can
What? Hold on a second. That's funny. Oh. Anyway, we have I don't know what's.
yeah. This is what I'm.
There's a way. Hold on a second. Let me try it again. Why denied? Have you guys ever experienced similar stuff from
No.
my link?
Yeah, this is the.
No. I also don't
No,
have
right?
a Microsoft account that's active, so I've been using it as a guest
Ah,
every time, I think.
I see.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me try it again. I mean, usually if what I will do is, you see this file, right? Can see my screen, can, right?
Yeah.
For example, if we want to edit the synopsis at the same time, then we can click this. There is a button, show more action, open. If you click open in app, if you open in app, app is better. App means the software.
Oh, let me try
So
again.
you can open Word. Yes, you didn't try this before, probably, I think. So yeah, after you click this,
Does that require Microsoft 365?
I think
yes.
so.
Yeah.
Do you
I don't
have Microsoft Word?
Yeah, I have desktop, and it's not like regular non 365 old fashioned Word.
Oh,
I'll just
so
use the browser.
yeah, we can
yeah,
all so here's the thing, we can all just all edit in browser, and that's fine. So we don't need to just this is
yes.
because for my option here,
That's
I
doable.
uh,
Hold on a second. Why it got stuck? But usually what I did especially for our small paper, I think for this one it's okay. But usually for me, previous I work with other co-authors, especially when I was working on my pretty huge review. It's I remember it's over. It should be at least be several tens of thousands. words.
So Jianhui, here's
I
I
do
would can I share screen? Here's what I would suggest.
Yeah.
If you can stop sharing, I will just share, and then I can show what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
so you can see my screen, right? So this is what Jianhui put in a folder. What I can do is, because I have experience of working with a lot of people, just open using this and then open in desktop app.
Yeah.
So what I can do is, if we just have the link, we just all edit at the same time. So I can just copy paste what you have in this tool, create two documents, or just one doc, combine both of this into one, and I will share a link, and let's move from there. So, and we can also just stick to what you have here. You either way works fine. So what do you guys suggest? I'm happy with either.
Actually, we just need one file, I think. As is this to a synopsis and a cover letter. I created a manuscript file, but I didn't share. I just drag it into this folder. Then it will be shareable.
Yeah. So how about I just copy paste what we have right now in a synopsis into a new document just like this. I send a link. Everyone either try to work in a browser, or if you want, you can just open your Word if you have a Word 365 account. That's just essentially like Google Doc, anything. I can do that. And we can also just stick with your file. Either works for me.
What's the difference between you share or I share? I think they are the same.
I try to use, for example, if let me share screen again. I try to, so you say I can try to open with, it doesn't come with the option of open with
I see.
Word.
But still, you go to the top one. You see the icon of the Word open.
Open. Open browser.
Yeah.
Right?
See. Let me edit it.
I tried this, and it doesn't allow me to go to the Word document. I can.
Wait. I think you have it.
for example, if I try to do here.
I enable annotate. Can you go back to the previous page?
Okay, and then
Previous one. Yeah.
Open.
Is this one? See it? Open.
Yeah.
See
Okay.
it?
Open. Yeah. And
What?
then it doesn't
Oh.
come up with the option.
How come?
But
Which means if you don't.
But I think
log
open in
you
browser
can't have
is
that?
perfectly fine with me. I can just work with this. No
Yeah,
worries
I
at
think
all.
I'll be working from the browser as well
maybe,
because I don't
maybe
have
wait.
365.
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as you
technology,
guys don't,
technology.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But
technology.
maybe as I want to mention, it's maybe hard for you guys to include references. Maybe let me do it. I think we won't have a lot of references.
Yeah,
You
we
just
can add references. Just
I
add
can
some
do that.
comments
I can do that.
and we can.
Yeah, you can add reference as comment, and I will do it all of this. I think.
Yep.
I think probably hard if you want, because you need anyway. Finally, we will need in the one people to include all the references. But
Yep.
for this one, it's okay. We won't have a lot. I think 10 something. Yeah, the maximum is 10. We cannot exit 10. So let me do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have a plan. So the plan is we're gonna try to finish everything by the end of July, and hopefully, first 2 weeks of August we can send it out. This is the plan. This is the target. And in order to reach that, first of all, we need to decide on the outline with bullet points, and then when we have the outline. We will not have meetings, but we just coordinate over email to split the work, about different sections.
I will do a tentative one, and if you guys want to change, we can change. But I think probably for that we don't need another meeting, just the email. I think.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, I will send out a follow-up email. Yeah, I think mostly we are agreed, right? I think. Yeah, we don't have. We agree on
It's
the general
only
outline,
the section before conclusion that needs the three of us
just
to.
one section, and I will summarize a little bit about what you guys are talking about today.
Yeah, that's great.
So.
Yeah.
We can start. Actually, we can start working on it. I think.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much for doing that, Jianhui.
Yeah, thank you guys for contribution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, hopefully we will make some impact for this phenomenon. Yeah, I always want to write this one. I have been preparing for this one for half a year or more than half a year. I always want.
Yeah,
I think it's very pretty meaningful.
Yeah, let's finalize this and let's just wrap this up project and okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, I will send a follow-up email. Yes, enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, bye bye.
Have a good one, y'all.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.